an MEP will follow the line of its group. So the cohesion of the group is quite important, and this is also very surprising, because you could expect from MEPs to go to the parliament, okay, I will be member of the Christian Democrat group, and then I won't care. I'm elected at national level, my group cannot sanction me, my political career does not depend on what the group is thinking of me or not, so I don't care about what the group decides, I will just do it on my own. But in fact not, because in 70% of the cases, the members are just following the line of the group. And so the question is, how do you explain that? You cannot explain it really by that idea of sanction and resources the MEP can gain from the group, because this works to a certain extent, but it's not like in the national parliament. In the national parliament, a group usually has the ability to say to its members, now we are going to vote along our lines, or you will be fired, or you will be dismissed from the group, or for next election we won't choose you as a candidate. But in the European Parliament this is not possible. So the two main reasons why the MEPs are following the line of the group and feeling as a member of the group is first that those groups are places of deliberation and places to build a compromise. And so MEPs are quite happy with that, because the political groups inside the European Parliament are not places just to impose a vision of the party to the MEP. That's not the case. This is the case very often at national level. With the political group, we say, okay, we have a new law, our program says that this is not right, we're going to vote against. But at the European level, they got a proposal from the Commission, new regulation for fisheries things. They don't have a single idea what to do with that, because the political group is quite heterogeneous. Okay, they all feel like Christian Democrats, but some are very conservative people, some are people more from the center, some are Christians, some are laics, and so they don't share many things. And the political group as itself does not really have a political line, and is not trying to impose something. So they just then they discuss about this thing. What are we going to say about that? So for MEPs it's very satisfying to be part of a body which is discussing and trying to find a common line on a text. The second reason is that a lot of MEPs in fact are completely lost. Those guys are elected, they come to Brussels, and a lot of them, they don't understand really what European Union is about, because it's so complicated. And most texts they have to look at are very technical, and there is a lot of text. European Parliament is adopting more than 200 regulations a year, and so an MEP can specialize. He can be a specialist of fishery because he's elected in a town which is just on the shore, and so he's getting interested in that. But when it comes a directive on agricultural or financial services or things like that, that guy does not have a single idea of what to think about those very complicated texts, very technical, etc., etc. So the easiest way for him is just to follow the line of the political party, because there is a kind of a political group. There is kind of a division of labor inside the group. You are specialists of agriculture, fishery policy, etc., etc. And so the group is just listening to what the members which are specialists are saying, okay, I'm sitting in the committee of fishery, we discussed about that proposal, we had a fight with the socialists, and the Greens are asking for that and that. I suggest that our group, the Christian Democrat group, is proposing such amendment and made a deal with the socialists because they have quite reasonable position. So considering that process of building majority, MEPs are quite are following quite well the position of the group. And then when it comes the time of voting inside the European Parliament, very surprisingly, it's easy to find a majority. And you start with very heterogeneous situation, and you end with large majority. And if we look at the way an MEP is behaving inside the European Parliament, I think that it's like Russian dolls. At first, the MEP feels as a German socialist. This is his core identity. But then, as a German socialist, he is within a larger group, which is the socialist group. And so he will try to adapt to that position. But he's also a member of the European Parliament. And at the end, he is also a member of the European Union political system. So, for MEP who are not Eurosceptic, they are able to find a way to find a consensus with the other members because of those Russian doll identities. At first, the guy tries to defend a position of a German socialist, but he knows that he needs to find a global position within his group, because if there is no global position of the group will be out of the deal. So it's important for them when they meet to be able to find a compromise. And then, if you are a socialist in the European Parliament, you are not a Eurosceptic. You want the European Parliament to be able to take part in the decisions. So at one moment you will say, okay, now stop fighting, we must find a deal with the Christian Democrats if we want to be able for the European Parliament to vote something. And even at the end, when it comes to interinstitutional relation, when it comes to discussion with the Council and the Commission, then again the MEPs are able maybe to find a compromise saying, okay, it's better for us to have a regulation than to have no regulation. And if we are not able to find a deal with the Council and the Commission, there will be no text. So, in such a way, with that multiple identities of MEPs, it's possible to create consensus in the European Union, starting with a situation which is very chaotic. So, I'm just going now to conclude. So, European Parliament is quite an astonishing institution in the way it is able to function, to exert power, to gain power over the European policy making, to overcome national division, to overcome political division, and to build a compromise. And I would say compromise in the good sense. It's not only of trying to find the lowest common denominator. Very often it's just a real deliberation, people arguing, finding new solutions, and at the end having some good ideas in a text. But the problem the European Parliament has is electoral connection. Because now we are going, next month we will have our 7th direct election of European Parliament, and everybody knows that participation will be very low. There will be maybe 35 or 30 or 40% of the citizens going to vote, and in most countries in the European Union, vote is not non-compulsory. It's only the case in Belgium, Luxembourg, and Greece, and so people they just don't go to vote. And this is a major concern for European Parliament, because if people don't go to vote for you, then your legitimacy is in question. And very often when the European Parliament has a fight with the Council or the Commission, they say, we are elected, and the other are saying, you are badly elected. 2/3 of the electors don't go to vote for you, so don't be too proud of about that. And European elections since 1979 are qualified as second-order elections. That are elections which are used for some other purposes than what they are for. And if you look what European elections are made for in many countries, they are in fact kind of a test for the government. In France, it will be a test for President Sarkozy. People will use European elections just to say the point of view on the way national politics are going on. It has nothing to do. Sometimes it's also used as a public opinion poll or referendum on European integration. People use European integration to say if they are in favor, or European elections to say if they are in favor or against European integration. And very often those elections are used by anti-system political parties. You have all kinds of political parties that are proposing candidates. We have in France an anti-Zionist political party proposing lists. In some other country you have a list for the beer drinkers, retired people, etc., some crazy things. And it's becoming something a bit unserious. And it's a good place for original, extreme political parties to make noise. Because a lot of mainstream parties are not very comfortable with European matters.